But right now, I'm going to slow things down a little bit because the internet doesn't slow down anymore. And if it doesn't slow down, well, it stops thinking. I'm not interested in yelling into a hurricane. I'm interested in being understood. A few days ago, I wrote a song. Got a lot of flack and got a lot of slack and got a lot of hate. So this is me talking, not defending, nor attacking. I'm just laying it out for you. Over the course of the last few days, across all platforms, I've been, you know, I've been called different things: bigot, extremist, Christian nationalist, racist. Apparently, overnight I unlocked the DLC for the full villain expansion pack. And honestly, I laughed. Not because it was funny. I don't want to portray that. I didn't think it was funny. But because it shows how fast we'll turn strangers into villains. And how fast we'll group somebody, no matter the good they've done, because of policies or thoughts, they immediately become evil. Now, nobody asked who I was, and nobody asked from where I came from. But I think it's time that you as a community understand where I come from so that we can avoid any future mispleasures. See, the internet doesn't do biographies. It does headlines. So here's the part of the headlines that it doesn't talk about. I grew up in chaos. Not poetic chaos. Not even movie chaos, but real chaos. Poverty, foster homes, violence, instability. The kind of childhood where your brain wires itself around survival instead of comfort. When I was growing up, I didn't think about patriotism. I didn't think about racism. I didn't think about politics. I grew up thinking about where I'd sleep and whether the adults were safe in the room. That changes a person. When you grow up without control, you don't dream about power. You dream about stability. You dream about a door that locks, a table that stays, and a place that doesn't disappear. That instinct never leaves you. I went on and I joined the Marine Corps, and, well, I messed that up because I thought I could outsmart the system instead of thinking long term. I buried a child. And if you've never done that, I hope you never understand what that sentence means. It rearranges your insides permanently. I've lost marriages, lost homes, lost visions of myself that I thought would last. I spent years drunk, years numb, yes. I've even spent years figuring out how to stand up upright without a manual. So when people hear me talk about protecting households and family, they hear politics. What I hear is survival mode. in memory. Rig Radio exists because I wanted to build something that couldn't be taken away by chaos. A space where creators can stand up without shame. And, well, the irony is, it was used against me. I built this space knowing full well I wouldn't agree with half of the art that passes through it. And to be honest, that's the point. Freedom of expression is meaningless if it only protects the art you personally approve of. I host voices that challenge me. I have admins that don't agree with me politically, personally. And that's intentional. Because that's adulthood. And adulthood also means boundaries. And this, well, that's the part people pretend to, that is just controversial. Adults deserve freedom and family deserves boundaries. Those are not enemies. They're structural supports. Removing either one allows the house to tilt. Now I don't want control. I don't want to control strangers. I don't want to erase identities. I don't even want to legislate how grown-ups live. Your life is yours. But inside my house, inside my family, I draw lines. Every parent does. Every household does. Some lines are strict. Some are a little loose. But that variation is the very part what makes societies plural. We are not supposed to be identical. Different is not danger. We've just trained ourselves to panic when we see it. Some people hear boundaries and translate that into hatred. That is a category error. Disagreement is not hatred. Discomfort is not violence. Saying not in my house is not the same as saying not in my world. If we erase that distinction, conversation becomes impossible. And without conversation, all we have is labeling. Now, don't get me wrong, labeling is very, very effective. But it's also very, very lazy. Calling somebody a bigot, calling somebody a racist, a fascist, a conservative, a Republican, a Democrat is grouping. And it's a lot faster than understanding the individual. But it makes you feel righteous and it gets applause. But it doesn't build anything. It replaces thinking into sorting. And I'm not interested in sorting people into groups. I've lived long enough to know that groups eventually eat their own. Now, there's another place that I want to cover before people read into me, and that's why I'm going to say this loud instead of letting them define me. I'm patriotic. I am patriotic. not the chest pounding movie version, not the flag as a weapon version. I mean, generally. I generally love this country, and I love the people in it. I love the fact that we're loud and messy and inconsistent and still somehow share the same space. Patriotism to me isn't saying we're perfect. It's saying the experiment works and matters. The idea that widely different people can live side by side without erasing each other, well, that's rare in human nature and history. Most of the world runs on conformity. America, we run on tension. And that tension isn't a bug. It's a feature. The balance between freedom and boundaries is the heart of the project. Loving your country doesn't mean hating somebody else's. It just means believing that the house doesn't deserve to be burnt down every time a room gets messy. And I think that's why this whole homecoming and halftime all blew up. It's because the internet rewired us on how we treat disagreement. Social media didn't change how we talk. It changed how we reward. We reward certainty over curiosity, speed over thought, and outrage over understanding. If you pause to think in today's social media, well, you lose the race. If you nuance your position, people see weakness. If you admit complexity, the algorithm shrugs you off. Platforms don't ask if this is the truth. They ask if it's engaging. And let's face it, anger's engaging. Fear is engaging. Grouping loyalty is engaging. While calm reflection, well, that's just bad for business. So we built a system where the loudest version of the person gets amplified. And then all of a sudden we start believing in that loud version. And we look at that version as the whole human. And that's just not true. See, most people are reasonable in real life than online. The camera changes behavior. The comment section changes behavior. The algorithm changes behavior. I'm not immune. Nobody is. Hell, that's why I decided to read this tonight. This is me outstepping the current. I'm not pretending that conflict doesn't exist. But proving disagreement doesn't have to sound like a war drum. Here's the funny part. I've been chasing out the algorithm forever. For years. I've been on Twitch for over 7 years. 2 years grinding on YouTube, still not breaking records, still not viral, still not that overnight success story people imagine creators are supposed to become. And yeah, it's frustrating. Sometimes late at night, I get frustrated and I vent. Thank God for admins. So you stare at numbers and wonder if the shout is if you're shouting into the void. You wonder if the effort equals the impact. You wonder if the algorithm is judging you as a person. But here's what I've learned. Failure isn't always falling. Sometimes failure is quitting because the applause didn't come fast enough. I failed a lot of things in life. Being a good dad, being a good husband, being a good patriot, a good soldier. Real failures, heavy ones, the kind that you carry in your chest. And I'm still here, still building, still creating, still trying. Not because I think I'm owed success. But because, in all honesty, creating is now how I live and how I stay alive and feel alive. Rig Radio isn't about numbers, never has been. It's about persistence. It's about carving out a space and saying, this exists. Because I didn't quit. And I think a lot of people watching understand how I feel. You don't keep going because it's easy. You keep going because stopping feels worse. All right. Enough. Seriously. Here's what I hope for. I hope we relearn how to sit in the same room without turning disagreement into war. I hope we remember the discomfort isn't the same thing as attack. I hope we stop mistaking volume for truth. I don't want a silent world. I want a world where people can speak honestly and still see each other as a brother, a father, a sister, a mother, a friend, a human afterwards. I'm not asking you to agree with me. I'm just asking that you stay in the conversation. Because conversation, that's how culture survives. And I think we're strong enough to survive ours. Anyway, that's where I stand. Calm, firm, hopeful. No apologies. No hatred. Still willing to talk. That's me in a nutshell. Sorry to interrupt your program. But here is the song that started all the controversy. Here's Halftime at My House.
Yeah. Turn the damn game on. That's all I wanted. Just a game. Not a lecture. Halftime at my house. What the hell is this feed? I just wanted a game. Not a sermon on repeat. Stamp warnings on cigs. Stamp warnings on weed. But primetime politics get piped to my kid. Yeah. Say relax, say coach, or say I'm overreacting. Funny how the fine print never shows in the caption. I ain't scared of art, I'm scared of the sneak. Don't sell grown talk in the family seat. Living room glow, kid cross-legged on the rug. Ask asking me questions I shouldn't hear from a cub. I came for touchdowns, not a cultural punch. Not $1 billion lecture wrapped up as a stunt. Every damn channel trying to raise my child. Corporate puppets, dressed loud and wild. They rate my smoke, rate my drinks, rate my flicks. But halftime gets a free pass to politics. That's slick. Shock value sold as brave. Selling confusion wrapped in a wave. Then I'm the villain if I say hold up. Like a parent drawing lines is a damn hold up. I ain't fragile, I ain't scared of change. I'm scared of a world that erases the lane. Where family time gotta carry a pitch. Every quiet space rewritten by script. Let me breathe, let me watch it play. Without a sermon shoved in my face. If it's adult content, label the sign. Don't blur the guardrails and call it fine. Halftime in my house. What the hell is this beat? I just wanted a game, not a sermon on repeat. Stamp warnings on seeds, stamp warnings on weed. But primetime politics get piped to my kid. They say it's music, music carries weight. You don't blast it worldwide if it don't shape fate. $1 billion stage ain't neutral ground. That's a curated message piped through sound. You pick the moment, you pick the tone, you pick what echoes in every home. Then act shocked when the father says pause. Like guarding your kid is breaking laws. I don't care what grown folks sing on tour. Adults can choose, that's what freedom's for. But don't mix the aisles and call it the same. Don't sell a dope fire with the family name. Everything weaponized, everything loud. Nobody listening, just screaming at crowds. Where asking the question becomes a crime. And nuance dies in a headline rhyme. Saying not here gets twisted to hate. Nah, I guard the door, I don't close the gate. I ain't your enemy, I ain't your war. I'm just a dad guarding the door. Take the mic, burn it bright. Just don't sell darkness as light. Distorted bass shaking the frame I'm in. Whole damn culture got a knife in its grin. They say you chaos and call it a win. Then pipe it straight where your kids live in. White knuckle grip on the edge of the chair. Kids staring up like, Dad, is this fair? How do I answer when nobody cares? And the lines got erased in corporate affairs. Every beat like a hammer, every word like rust. Trust getting crushed in a sponsor's lust. They don't want peace, they want clicks and flame. Turn families into fuel for a brand name game. Crowd roar sounds like mechanical static. A million voices screaming programmatic. Here's a thesis carved in stone. We traded our guardrails for corporate tone. And I'm supposed to nod like it's our full grace while they stage dive into my safe space. Now stealing my throat, I bite back hard. Every bar a blade, every line a guard. You don't torch the house with the kids inside and expect me smiling. Pacified, this rage ain't random. It's love and armor, last stand built for the quiet corner. You want your war, keep it off my floor. I'm the wall you crash into, nothing more. Keep it out of my house. This ain't your stage, this is family ground. You don't burn it just to hear the sound. We see through smoke, we ain't blind now. Try to shove it down, we push back loud. Keep it out, keep it out, keep it out of my house. Keep it out, keep it out, keep it out, keep it out of my house. Keep it out, keep it out of my house. This ain't your stage, this is family ground. You don't burn it just to hear the sound. See through smoke, we ain't blind now. So don't talk, say the damn truth. Don't dress it in glitter and sell it as you. I turned on a game. That's all I did. Just wanted a game.
From the oil rigs to the roads, KDMS Ride Shotgun. 121.4 Rig Radio.